Hi, I'm Apila Colorado, co-founder of the new Indigenous Science and Peace Studies master's degree program at the University for Peace in Costa Rica. I am Oneata'aga Oneida tribe from North America, and I am also Gaul from France. No, it is not. Native Studies programs typically look at, objectively, from a Western frame, Indigenous cultures. This program, the Indigenous Science Peace Studies program, asks each of us to look deeply into our own ancestry to, if we live in an Indigenous culture today on our own Indigenous lands, this program asks us to deepen and strengthen our relationship with our culture, with our ancestors, and with our lands. The Indigenous Science and Peace Studies program offers a couple of innovative features. The first is, by coming to this program, you learn about international law, you learn about the policies and regulations that pertain and strengthen Indigenous rights, promote justice for Indigenous people and for the earth. And if you come from a culture that is remembering indigenosity, like I was doing and continue to do on my French side, then this program helps us to appreciate the standing of Indigenous people on the earth, the importance. For example, Indigenous people and Indigenous lands comprise now something like 80% of the world's remaining biodiversity. So it's important that we support Indigenous sovereignty, and at the same time, for those of us dissociated from our sovereignty, we need to reconnect and reclaim that freedom and that bond to the earth. As Indigenous elders have taught me growing up, our gift to the world is our bond with the earth. The Indigenous Science and Peace Studies program is a deeply transformative program. It's deep in the sense of psychology, of spirituality, of our relationship to the earth, of our core identity. What it addresses is the disconnection that began in the colonization of the earth, of the evolution of patriarchy, and in the destruction of all of life through the rubric of capitalism, of free market, of consumerism, of all the things that we're seeing today that are destroying the very basis of our survival. Since 1974, the United Nations has called upon Western thinking people to learn from Indigenous people and relearn, actually, the mystery and the knowledge of living sustainably and creatively with the earth. This program, the Indigenous Science and Peace Studies program, is at long last a direct answer to that invitation. The Indigenous Science and Peace Studies master's degree program is for people that want to do very deep transformative work. The program relies on the guidance of elders. There are actually Indigenous elders from around the world teaching in the program, and we work in a ceremony on Indigenous lands, on ceded Indigenous lands. In addition to that, we work in a circle, and the way that it happens in every cohort of students, when we sit in the circle, there will be someone that my ancestors, my culture, perpetrated violence against. And there will be someone in this circle whose culture perpetrated violence against mine. And sitting in that circle together, as we research and recover our genealogies and our Indigenous dreaming practices, become familiar with the symbols and the ways of codifying knowledge in our Indigenous cultures, and then ground all of that in an immersion of UN process and workings, we become powerful forces for healing the earth and transforming the reality from the destruction that we're in to revivifying our relationship with creation. The Indigenous Science and Peace Studies program supports tribal sovereignty. If you're a person coming from an intact tribal community and fighting to protect and preserve your lands, this program will immerse you in international law and the workings of the United Nations so that you can promote and help shape policy and affect meaningful change within the Western mindset, which causes so much destruction and chaos. If you are a person remembering your Indigenous mind, restoring your Indigenous identity, this program will help you support tribal sovereignty by, one, regaining your own understanding of what it means to be sovereign and free again, and two, what it means to execute that sovereignty, that freedom, and that peace through your connection with your lands, your own homelands, your genealogy, and the lands that you're living on today.